Ever moved into a new home only to find it's already occupied by a ghost? Picture this: a quaint house nestled in a quiet neighborhood, a home that carries whispers of an ethereal inhabitant. A family of three, a father, a mother, and their 10-year-old son decided to brush off these spectral tales as mere rumors and made this house their home. The son, a bright and curious boy, soon began to sense an unseen presence. He felt sudden jolts of shock, as though an invisible entity was hovering near him. The air in the house seemed to grow colder, the silence a little too profound. The whispers of the house grew louder. The spectral rumors felt increasingly real. Despite the uncanny encounters, the son didn't cower in fear. His heart was filled with curiosity rather than terror. He began to see the ghost not as a threat, but as a part of his new home. The son, however, was not frightened. Instead, he chose to seek out this spectral tenant. While the whispers of the supernatural would send chills down anyone's spine, our young hero saw an opportunity for friendship. In the heart of this haunted abode, where most 10-year-olds would tremble in fear, our brave young protagonist found a curious companion. The ghost, a spectral presence more misunderstood than malevolent, had been the source of many a rumor, but our young hero saw something different. He witnessed a lonely entity, longing for connection, so instead of cowering in fear, he reached out, extending a hand of friendship to the ghost. The initial response was resistance. The ghost, perhaps as surprised as anyone might be, was hesitant. But our young hero was persistent. He began leaving out small tokens, items that might spark a ghostly interest. An old toy car, a piece of candy, a doodle sketched with earnest effort. He would speak into the empty air, sharing stories of his day, asking questions, hoping to spark a conversation. And then, slowly, the ghost began to respond. A toy moved here, a gentle breeze there. The spectral entity seemed to grow fond of the boy's company. The interactions increased, transforming from subtle signs to playful exchanges. There were moments of hide and seek where objects would mysteriously vanish, only to reappear in the most unexpected places. Laughter echoed through the halls, a sound that had been absent for far too long. The house, once a place of fear and trepidation, began to feel like a home, filled with an unusual, yet heartwarming friendship. But as the bond between the boy and the ghost grew stronger, it was not to remain a secret for long. The day came when his family discovered his unusual friend. They found the boy chatting away, seemingly to thin air, his laughter echoing in the quiet house. But instead of sharing in his joy, they reacted as most adults would when faced with the inexplicable. Fear took hold. And so, the stage was set for a clash between the rational world of adults and the imaginative realm of a child. The house, once echoing with laughter, was now filled with whispers of worry and the stirrings of fear. Fear, the most primal of emotions, had gripped the family. They sought to banish their uninvited guest. Imagine a chill running down your spine, your hair standing on end, and your heart pounding in your chest. That was the state of this family, living in a house where the boundary between the physical and the spectral had been blurred. A sense of dread had seeped into their lives, turning their once cheerful home into a place of shivers and shadows. The parents, driven by fear for their son and themselves, turned to age-old rituals in a desperate attempt to cleanse their home. From burning sage to sprinkling holy water, from chanting ancient prayers to inviting spiritual healers and clairvoyants, they did all they could to dispel the ghost. Every corner of the house echoed with the solemnity of their rituals, the air heavy with the scent of incense and the sound of whispered incantations. Yet amidst this atmosphere of fear and fervor, their 10-year-old son stood as a beacon of calm and reason. He pleaded with his parents, trying to convince them that the ghost meant no harm. He spoke of his spectral friend with an affection that was both startling and heartwarming. He urged his family to look beyond their fear, to see the ghost not as a threat but as a friend. But his words fell on deaf ears. His parents were too caught up in their fear, too entangled in their rituals. They were determined to rid their home of the ghost, come what may. But life, as they say, has a funny way of turning things around. And in this tale of fear and friendship, there was a twist waiting just around the corner. Their son, the young bridge between two worlds, would soon find himself in a perilous situation. And in this moment of danger, the ghost would step forward, revealing its true nature in a way that would leave the family astounded. Their efforts, however, would soon be met with a shocking revelation. A family outing on the rooftop, a moment of joy turns into a moment of terror. It was an ordinary day filled with laughter and cheer, As the family of three, the father, mother, and their 10-year-old son, gathered on the rooftop for a playful afternoon. The sun shone brightly, casting long shadows as they raced around, lost in their innocent merriment. Suddenly, in a heart-stopping moment, the son's foot slipped on the edge of the rooftop. His eyes widened in shock, his small hands flailing in the air as he began to plummet towards the ground. The mother screamed, the father lunged forward, but they were too far. It seemed as though time itself had frozen, the seconds stretching into an eternity. A fall from such a height would be disastrous, if not fatal. But then, something extraordinary happened. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, a spectral figure emerged, like a wisp of smoke, solidifying into the form of the ghost who had become the boy's unlikely friend. The ghost reached out, its ethereal hand clasping around the boy's wrist, halting his descent in mid-air. The boy hovered, suspended in a moment that defied the laws of nature, saved from a tragic fate by an entity from the beyond. The parents watched in stunned silence as the ghost gently lowered their son back onto the safety of the rooftop. Their eyes met the ghost's, an understanding passing between them. Fear and suspicion were replaced by gratitude and awe. They had misjudged this entity, this spirit who had shown them kindness where they had shown fear. In that moment, the invisible barrier between the living and the ghost seemed to fade away. The ghost, once an unwelcome presence, now stood as their savior. The son, still shaking from his near fall, reached out to his spectral friend, a smile breaking across his face. In the face of danger, the ghost had shown its true nature. It was no malevolent spirit but a guardian, a friend, a member of their family. And from that day forward, the home they shared was no longer a place of fear, but a place of understanding and acceptance. A second chance at life, it was a moment that changed everything. In the blink of an eye, everything changed. The specter that once lurked in dark corners, a frightening unknown, had become a savior, a friend. The family was in awe, their hearts filled with gratitude for this unexpected hero who had saved their son from the jaws of death. The parents, once petrified by the thought of sharing their home with a ghost, felt a wave of relief wash over them. The ghost was not a menace, but a guardian angel, watching over their son, protecting him from harm. This revelation sparked a shift in their perspective. The fear that once clouded their judgment had been replaced by acceptance and appreciation. The mother, her eyes welling up with tears, whispered a heartfelt thank you into the still air. The father, his heart filled with gratitude, nodded in approval, a silent acknowledgement of the ghost's benevolent act. And the son, with a beaming smile, reached out to his spectral friend, his gratitude evident in his radiant expression. As days turned into weeks, the family's acceptance of the ghost grew. They began to see it not as an unwelcome intruder but as an integral part of their family. They embraced the ghost, accepting it with open hearts and minds. They spoke to it, shared stories with it, even laughed with it. The ghost, in turn, seemed to cherish this newfound acceptance, its presence in their home becoming less eerie and more comforting. The family's gratitude towards the ghost was boundless. It had not only saved their son's life but had also taught them a valuable lesson. They learned that fear is often rooted in the unknown, and that understanding and acceptance can dissipate that fear. They learned to see beyond the ghost's spectral form, to recognize its humanity and kindness. In the end, it was not the ghost that needed to be feared but the fear itself, and so they lived, a family of four, in their haunted home. Fear, often, is only as deep as the mind allows. This tale of an unlikely friendship, born in the echo of haunted hallways, is a testament to this truth. It began with whispers of a ghost, a chilling presence that sent shivers down the spine. Yet, in the heart of a 10-year-old boy, fear transformed into friendship. The spectral figure, once a source of terror, became a companion, a confidant, a savior. The family, initially paralyzed by fear, conducted rituals to exorcise this unseen presence. But when the ghost saved their son from a fall, they saw beyond the veil of their fear. They saw a protector, a friend, a new member of their family. This story is a reminder that acceptance can transcend the boundaries of the physical world, that bonds can be formed in the most unexpected places, even in the eerie silence of a haunted house. So, do you believe in ghosts now?